Salaams and welcome. Thank you for joining me in a brief episode as we look at some of the magnificent benefits of the Quran on the human brain. So I've only got about 5 slides to show you quickly this morning. Inshallah, let's start with it. The amazing human brain, and we're looking at some of the benefits that the brain derives when you're reading the Quran, studying the Quran, or contemplating over the Quran itself, right? First major benefit of reading the Quran is that it reduces your stress hormones. And we know that the major stress hormones is known as cortisol. When you're stressed out, then the brain produces adrenaline, noradrenaline, the adrenal glands, the adrenocorticotropic hormones, and so on. They all start producing cortisol, which prepares your body for the fight or flight reaction or for the freeze reaction. But when you read the Quran, it reduces the stress hormones and your body calms down. In this way, you reduce the damage to your brain, you reduce the damage to your heart, reduce your damage to your body. So, Alhamdulillah, this is the first magnificent benefit of reading or studying the Quran. Let's look at the next benefit. So, this is the amazing brain. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Creator Supreme, has given us a magnificent organ, the human brain. There's no other organ like this in the entire universe. More than 100 billion cells and trillions of interconnections, right? Let me just change the focus a bit. The second major benefit of the brain is that it activates the deep memory center, right? MRI study shows that the areas known as the hippocampus and the prefrontal cortex, they light up like floodlights. And the hippocampus is related to your memory centers and emotional centers and deep imprinting of memories. And your prefrontal cortex focuses, it helps you to focus and gives you your deep thinking. It activates your thinking processes. Right, so here's another thing about the brain. So we need to appreciate this amazing human brain. Let's not put anything into the brain that will damage it, whether it is your thoughts or whether it is substance abuse and so on. The third amazing benefit of the brain is that of the Quran is when you read the Quran before sleeping. Now we know at night time the glial cells and various cells in the brain, they start repairing. The astrocytes, oligodendrocytes, these are the nutritional cells of the brain. But it is during night time that the brain removes a lot of the things that you don't need. It starts repairing it because it is an organ that is very, very active. So when you read the Quran just before sleeping, or even if you just listen to it, by the time you wake up in the morning, your memory is sharper and your thinking is much more clearer as well, because it effectively enhances the way that the brain repairs itself, right? Now, the advantage of the medical benefit of the human brain, the fourth benefit, is that from a medical point of view, when the person who's reading the Quran, studies have shown that the pulse rate starts slowing down and it also reduces your blood pressure. And so many people, they love reading the Quran out loud. Like our famous Sheikh Abdul Qadir Abdul Basit, Rahmatullah alayhi, Allah reward him abundant from Egypt with these fabulous rhythmic voices. And therefore the Quran says, read the Quran with slow, measured, rhythmic tones. So when you read the Quran in slow, measured, rhythmic tones in tartil, it reduces your pulse, it reduces your BP, it starts releasing the dopamine and serotonin, and you start feeling much better again. It's much better, absolutely amazing. So there's many medical and health benefits of the Quran. Apologize, I got a bit of a flu, and that is why the Quran is also known as Al-Shifa, the healing. The next major benefit of the Quran is that it enhances your mood and gives you emotional balance. When you start reciting the Quran, then it releases these fabulous hormones in the brain known as the feel-good hormones, or the hormones that make you feel good: dopamine, the endorphins, the serotonin, and so on. When he starts releasing these, your mood starts feeling better. Many of us, we know it just by even listening to Surah Yasin or Surah Rahman, Surah Waqia, we will feel so fabulously beautiful and happy after that. It's because the brain responds positively to the Quran, and it actually lights up. The studies have shown that the various areas of the brain light up when you're reciting the Quran. Even when you're sleeping, your brain goes into more calmer wave. You get a better sleep. your brain waves calm down, you have a much more healthier sleep and a much more better sleep. It's absolutely amazing. Studies have even shown that patients who are in coma, comatose patient, whether it's Muslim or non-Muslim, when you recite the Quran next to them, all of a sudden the brain starts slowing. It's certain areas of the brain start lighting up, like Christmas lights. It becomes very, very bright. And then the brain slows down. Absolutely amazing. So even those people who don't know Arabic, their brain responds so amazingly to the Quran. And the next magnificent benefit number 6, is known as neuroplasticity. Sorry for the mistake, the spelling mistake. After the C, there should be an I there. There's, if I can point it, a little I should be there. So what happens is when you're reciting the Quran, then the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere communicate. There's a breach between the right and left hemisphere known as the corpus callosum. And this breach, when you're reading the Quran, when you're seeing with your eye, the left hemisphere is involved. But when you're reciting with tartil, with emotion and slow rhythm, the rhythm is the musical component. So the rhythm is the right hemisphere. So when you're reciting with rhythm, your right hemisphere starts communicating with the left hemisphere. The breach, the corpus callosum, becomes highly active, and new pathways are created in the brain, and this gives you neuroplasticity. Your brain becomes much more enhanced, much more developed. You get an amazing, beautiful brain that is not simply black and white, but it is an amazing dynamic brain. So look after yourself, make the Quran your friend, your best friend, and become one of those who are known as the lovers of the Quran. Stay well, look after yourself. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.